Hello, this is the Bible in Fewer Words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 51, Leviticus chapter 19. Good morning, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
I wanted to say a few things before we get started today. The first one is I want to remind our listeners that the music they hear at the beginning and at the end of our podcast is written and performed by Martin Watkinson. Thanks, Martin. We really appreciate it. Next, if you enjoy our podcasts, please follow us and give us a rating. It helps us somehow. Thanks. Okay. I think we are ready to go. The overall name for today is Some Good Rules.
Yeah, there's some good rules. There's also some strange rules.
In Leviticus.
In this chapter,
yes,
actually.
We kind of expect that in Leviticus.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good.
Oh, good.
In fact, in my opinion, the best verse in the entire Bible is in this chapter.
Oh, you'll have to point it out to us.
I will.
Okay. Chapter 19, verse 9. When you harvest your crops, leave some unharvested in the corners of your field. Why do they want to do that, Steve?
To leave it for the poor and for travelers that are passing through that maybe don't have enough food with them.
Oh, that
it's
is
kind
a
of
great
a kindness to strangers and the poor.
Cool.
Yeah. Verse 10 says, "Don't gather every grape from your vineyard. Leave some for the poor and for strangers."
And the birds.
Yeah, maybe.
Verse 11. Don't steal or lie. Man, things are really going along smoothly this morning.
Yeah. Pay a fair wage to your employees.
That's good too. Be kind to the deaf and blind.
Judge others fairly, without favoring the poor or the mighty.
That's a little odd, isn't it?
It is odd, but it's also a good rule.
Uh-huh.
We should treat everyone fairly, whether they're rich or poor.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Don't gossip.
Don't hate your brother.
And love your neighbor as yourself.
That's the one that I think is the best verse in the Bible.
Oh, it wasn't look kindly on an old man's face?
Oh, that's coming up. That's number 2. There are 2 good commandments. This is the first. The second is coming up.
Okay.
No, this is one that also people think of it as being the golden rule.
Uh-huh.
And it also is one that a lot of times people give Jesus credit for.
Yes.
He did like it. He
Yeah.
said it was one of the most important commandments, like the second commandment. He said, love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength is the first commandment. The second is like unto that, love your neighbor as yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's where he got it. It's from Leviticus of all places.
Yeah.
Leviticus 19:18. Now that's the end of the really good stuff. Now we've got some things that are just interesting and a little strange.
All right. Verse 19. Don't let cows interbreed. Don't sow with mixed seeds. And don't mix linen and wool in the same garment. Those are pretty different, but all kind of strange.
Yeah, when you said cows, I think what we really meant was cattle.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the King James says cattle. Sometimes we think of cattle as being cows, but I think in the Bible, cattle usually are just farm animals of some type. But anyway, don't let them interbreed. So I guess don't let a cow breed with a horse, maybe.
Chicken breed with a rabbit.
Yeah, or maybe just different kinds of different breeds of cows.
Or horses.
Interbreed or horses. It's not clear to me what this really means or why it's in the Bible. But the next one is interesting. The next part of that is don't sow with mixed seeds.
You know, I just bought a packet of mixed wildflowers.
Did you?
Yes.
Huh.
I guess I'm not going to be able to just throw them in the little garden.
Well, I guess. I mean, it just seems like a very strange thing for God to be concerned about. But there it is. And then we also have don't mix linen and woolen in the same garment.
Yeah, you know, I like linen and I like wool.
Yeah. And why not mix them and put them in the same garment?
Well, and so are they saying like when you weave them, don't weave them
I
together,
think so.
or don't wear a blouse that's linen with a
May,
wool
yeah,
one
maybe
on
it's kind of
top.
like wearing stripes and plaid.
I like doing that too.
Anyway, don't mix your fabrics.
All
And
right.
I think in the same garment. Not it's not like I think you could have linen pants and maybe a wool sweater. That might be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, God's concerned about all this, so we wanted to let you
Yes.
know.
It is important.
The next one is something I'll let you take this one.
Okay. I have to stop laughing now
Yeah,
because it's awful.
it is.
Verse 20. If a man has sex with an engaged slave woman, and what is even an engaged slave woman?
Oh, she's getting married.
Slaves are allowed to get married?
Well, I think usually the owner of the slave selects who they're going to marry.
Okay.
But she's engaged to that person that you've already chosen for her.
Okay.
So,
And then I, as a male slave holder, have sex with her?
any man has sex with her. Uh-huh.
Okay.
That isn't her husband or who she's engaged to.
Then, if that happens,
Mm-hmm.
you have to scourge the woman, but don't punish the man.
Yeah, whip her, scourge the women.
Whip the woman, but don't punish the man. Okay,
Right.
so the woman is being forced to marry someone she doesn't want to marry, and somebody rapes her essentially. 'Cause she
Rapes
probably
her
doesn't
or
want-
has sex with her anyway, willingly or unwillingly, yes.
She's the one that gets whipped, and the
Uh-huh.
man, well, the man, you just don't
Yeah,
punish
the
him.
Bible explains it because she's a slave.
Okay,
So
she's a slave.
she's a slave and she's engaged, right?
Uh-huh.
So she shouldn't be having sex with somebody, right?
Yeah.
According to the thinking here, I think of God's thinking.
Yes.
She shouldn't have sex
So she's
because she's
needs to be
engaged. So
punished.
whip her
Yeah.
and don't punish the man because she's a slave, I guess. Anyway, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Now we get into something that's really puzzling. Consider all fruit from fruit trees less than 3 years old to be uncircumcised. Don't eat them. So don't eat the fruit from trees that are less than 3 years, three years or less, because that fruit is uncircumcised.
Well, how is circumcision related to trees here?
I don't know. Circumcision is used in a variety of ways. Remember, Moses wasn't a good speaker, so he said that his lips were uncircumcised.
So not prepared to do what they're supposed to do.
It also talks a lot in the Bible about your heart being circumcised or uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I can't explain it,
But it's there.
but it's there. Fruit that is from a tree that is less than 3 years old, you should consider uncircumcised and don't eat it.
And these are the words that are in the Bible.
Oh, yes, exactly. Pretty much the same, yeah.
Okay.
The fourth year fruit, though, is holy. Praise God with it.
So does that mean people can't eat the fourth year
I
fruit?
don't know, but it does mean that you're supposed to praise God with it. It's holy.
Okay. And then verse 25. You can eat the fruit from 5-year-old trees.
So at least we know that. For if it's 5 years old or older, you can eat its fruit. You know, I think a lot of people don't even pay much attention to it. They don't worry whether that apple that they're eating was from a young apple, maybe might even be uncircumcised, and they're forbidden to eat from it.
Yes.
Of course,
You
I
know-
don't think that an apple tree usually is going to produce fruit that is that young, right?
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
But from years passed by so quickly that I don't even remember. Okay, so did we plant that apple tree last year or 3 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know. Pay attention though, because
Okay.
you don't want to eat it if it's less than 3 years old.
All right. Don't eat anything with blood or use magic or astrology. Those 3 topics are just the magic
don't-
and astrology, okay, but what's the blood thing?
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But it is in the same verse. And I took a little liberty here on the magic and astrology. The actual verse is, it sounds like New Agey type stuff. Don't do that.
Okay. Okay, verse 27. Don't round the corners of your heads. Well, that I have to stop you right there. How would you round the corner of your head?
I think it's kind of hairstyling, I think.
Okay. because you're not
Cutting your
messing.
hair in a way that would round the corners.
Okay. Or mar the corners of your beards. All right, so that kind of makes sense. You just let your beard just kind of dangle.
I don't know. That is all very puzzling to me.
Okay.
I don't know whether that means that you shouldn't shave at all. It sounds like you should have a beard.
Yeah. Just in a special style.
So I don't know how to follow this commandment, but it is a commandment.
Okay. 28. Don't cut your flesh for dead people or get any tattoos. Now, people get tattoos for all kinds of reasons. What is the fascination with for dead people?
I think it used to be, and maybe still is in some places, that people, when they are mourning the death of someone, they might cut their skin or cut themselves. Don't do that, it's saying.
Okay.
And then just don't get tattoos.
Okay. So I could see that you might want to, mourning is pretty awful. You might want to feel that pain and
Right.
kind of,
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can't understand getting a tattoo very well. But
a lot of people do it.
It's very popular, and they shouldn't, according to the Bible.
Okay.
I think the Bible's right about that. And I think it's right about the next one. Don't force your daughter to become a prostitute.
I think it's right about
That's
that.
a good rule.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
What kind of dad? Well, didn't we have some people who were breaking that rule?
Oh yeah, you're allowed to sell your daughter as a sex slave, but don't do it as a prostitute. Don't. These might contradict each other. I don't know, because it seems like they're kind of similar. One says you shouldn't sell your daughter. You can sell your daughter, and it's really as a sex slave, but don't make her a prostitute.
I don't know what the difference is there.
Maybe a prostitute is someone who is not really, you're not selling it to the person as a concubine, like for forever, but just temporary. It's like don't rent your daughter out as a sex slave, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. And verse 31. Stay away from wizards and familiar spirits.
I guess it's kind of wizards and witches. And then here are some more good rules, and this is one of my favorites. Stand in the presence of old people and honor the face of an old man. Now that's a good rule.
Yes, it is. I'll try to do that now from now on. And verse 34, don't mistreat strangers. Treat them as fellow citizens and love them as you love yourself.
Oh, that's nice.
That is very nice.
And treat others fairly. Don't cheat. Always a good rule.
Yeah.
So some good stuff in here.
Yes. It's refreshing.
Yeah. So the Leviticus 19 is a very strange chapter because it's mostly an awful book, right?
Yeah.
But we've got some good stuff in
19.
Watch out for chapter 20 that's coming up, though.
Oh. I guess we'll see you all next time for chapter 20.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.